Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Daniel James, and today I want to talk about something I've spoken about twice this week in schools, and that is understanding that you are not your thoughts. A lot of the times we can get really caught up inside our own heads and we think that we are our thoughts. Now, on my Ascend coaching program, I really sort of deep dive where thoughts come from and really try and help you pick apart the difference between you, that voice inside your head, and your thoughts. But today I just want to share with you a really, hopefully a clear picture and analogy that will help you understand the difference between you and your thoughts. So imagine that you are the sky. So if you live in the UK, it might be hard to realise and remember what the sky looks like, but the sky is the big blue thing that we can see on a nice sunny day. That is the sky. And you are the sky. It's always there. It's ever present. That best version of you is always there. It's always present. So no matter how bad, how dark, how cloudy, now the worst thunderstorms, hurricanes, the sky is always there. You, that best version of you, is always there. But then underneath the sky, we have the clouds. And these clouds are your thoughts. And that's what I want you to start to think of thoughts like clouds. They come and they go. The problem is, though, when we are struggling and we are stuck inside our own heads, those thoughts can become all-consuming. Much like that grey, cloudy morning when you look up, it's dark, miserable, and the clouds are just thick, black, and you can't even see the slightest glimpse of the sky. But it's important to realise that the sky is still there. And more importantly, the sky makes room for the clouds. It has space for them. So when you start to notice that you're having these negative thoughts, no matter how dark and intrusive they can be, understand that they cannot harm the sky. These thoughts cannot harm you. They can be very, very intense. They can be very, very dark, but they are just thoughts. We are the ones that gives the thoughts their power. It is our attention on the thoughts. When we hook ourselves on the thoughts, when we get hooked and caught in the thoughts, that's when we actually give them power. Because without our energy, without us hooking onto these thoughts, they have no power. Hey guys, if you're enjoying this video, please smash that thumbs up button. It helps with YouTube algorithm to get the video out there to help more people that may need to hear this message. If you don't want to miss any future episodes, hit that subscription button. And now back to the episode. A thought will last, on average, about 15 seconds without our attention. So the art is to just let the thoughts sit. And start to question, start to get inquisitive. Where has this thought come from? Because most of the time we don't actually realise, we're not aware that we can start to question our thoughts. Why am I having this thought? Is this thought actually serving me? Because sometimes these negative thoughts we're having do serve us. The thought, I'm lazy. Is that serving you? Well, if you've got a deadline you need to hit in 2 hours' time, you've done no work and you're sat watching Netflix, the thought of, I am lazy, that's actually a very positive thought. That's actually going to help you massively. However, if you've woken up, looked after the kids all morning, gone straight into a job, come back, cooked their dinner, put them to bed, it gets to 8 o'clock and you just take a second to breathe and that thought pops up, you're being so lazy. Is that serving you? And the answer is no. So then the art is to just distance yourself from the thought. Very much like here when we have the clouds. Just notice, give yourself the distance. Because all too often what happens is we get so caught up in it that there's no space for the thought. So what we can do is we can say to ourselves, I am noticing that I am having the thought that I am lazy. So what we're doing is you're understanding, you're giving yourself credit that you are noticing. You are noticing. I am noticing that I am having the thought. You are not your thoughts. You are having your thoughts. Thoughts are meant to come and go, and that's okay. You are having the thoughts. But when you start to notice that you are having that thought, it just gives you that space, much like the sky gives space to the dark clouds. You are noticing that you are having the thought. You are not that thought. But the more you start to question it, start to probe it, start to ask, where's this come from? Is this serving me? Do I need to be thinking about this right now? it'll become weaker and weaker and weaker. And I encourage clients to have like a positivity folder on their phone, or just something where they can start to show a bit of gratitude. This may sound a bit crazy, but in those dark moments, if you can show some form of gratitude and really get into that feeling of gratitude, because the art of gratitude is the feeling, the actual feeling of the gratitude. It shifts your attention away from the dark, negative clouds and gives you something positive to think of. Because it's impossible to think of a positive and a negative at the same time. It doesn't work. So to sit in a feeling of gratitude in those dark times gives you that little glimmer of hope. And what it does is it allows you to just have that space between the dark clouds. Much like when you see the sun break through and you see those amazing, beautiful rays of sunshine hitting the ground. That's what it's like, just to give yourself that space, just to notice that there is some positive still in the world. Allow yourself that space, allow yourself that time. Because all too often when we have these negative thoughts, we'll say, I don't want to have these thoughts, I don't want to have them, I don't want to have. And the more we resist having these thoughts, I don't want to have this thought, the more energy and attention you're actually giving the thoughts. So my one bit of advice is just notice that you are having the thought. Start to question it, start to probe it. And then, if we can, start to show gratitude for some of the amazing things that you do have in your life. The amazing things that the sky can be grateful for. The better you get at this, the easier it becomes. And the only way you're going to get better at it is through practice. I hope you're taking some value from today's episode. Don't forget to like and share it with a friend to help us to get the message out there, to help as many people as possible. Until next time, take it easy.